Hey there, welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to explore the world of Virat Kohli, the guy who's basically a legend in cricket. We've got some fascinating excerpts from a document in Hindi about him, covering everything from his childhood to his amazing career. By the end of this, you'll be able to chat with any cricket fan and sound like you really know your stuff.
What's really interesting about Kohli is how his story goes beyond just cricket. We're talking about a guy who has influenced an entire nation and inspired a generation of athletes. He's practically a cultural phenomenon.
Right, let's unpack this. The document takes us back to Delhi, India, where Kohli was born on November 5th, 1988. He comes from a Punjabi Hindu family. His dad, Prem Kohli, was a criminal lawyer, and his mom, Suraj Kohli, a homemaker. He also has an elder brother and sister. It kind of makes you wonder if that middle child dynamic played a role in his drive to stand out.
That's an interesting thought. Family dynamics can definitely shape someone's personality and ambitions.
Totally. And this document really highlights how Kohli's passion for cricket started super early. He was practically born with a bat in his hand. It wasn't just natural talent, though. He was also incredibly dedicated. Pretty soon, he was representing Delhi in age group tournaments, under 15s, under 17s, under 19s, and he was cleaning up winning awards left and right.
That early success is so important. It shows not only his raw talent, but also his commitment to the game at such a young age. It's a clear sign of the incredible things to come.
Okay, here's where things get really exciting. In 2008, Kohli captained the Indian team to victory in the Under-19 Cricket World Cup. That's huge, right? To lead your team to a World Cup title at that age. It says a lot about his leadership potential even back then.
That World Cup win was pivotal. Think about it. He wasn't just playing. He was captaining a team on a global stage, dealing with pressure and expectations. That experience shapes you, forges a winning mentality. It's no wonder he became such a successful captain later on.
Absolutely. And that same year, he makes his debut in one-day internationals, facing Sri Lanka. The guy was on fire. But, ODI is just one type of cricket. It's a shorter, faster format of the game. Maybe you could explain the difference between ODIs and Test cricket for our listeners who might not be as familiar with the sport.
Of course. Test cricket is like the marathon of cricket. It's played over 5 days, and it tests a player's endurance both physically and mentally. ODIs, on the other hand, are more like a sprint. They're faster paced, more explosive. To excel in both requires a very special set of skills.
And that's exactly what Kohli did. He debuted in T20 internationals in 2009. That's the shortest and most explosive format. And then played his first test match against the West Indies that same year. So by 2009, this guy was playing at the highest level in all three formats of the game. That's insane.
What's remarkable is his ability to adapt his game to each format. Test cricket demands patience and strategic thinking, while T20s require quick decision-making and aggressive stroke play. Kohli seemed to effortlessly switch between these styles, which speaks volumes about his talent and versatility.
It's like he had this toolkit of skills he could draw from, depending on the situation. But it was between 2009 and 2011 that he really cemented his place as a crucial part of the Indian batting lineup, specifically in ODIs. He became this reliable middle-order batsman. In ODIs, the middle-order batsman has a tough job. They often have to rebuild the innings if they're early wickets or accelerate the scoring towards the end. It's a high-pressure role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he thrived under that pressure. He consistently scored runs, helping Indy win matches. This is when he started earning the nickname Chase Master, right?
Oh, yeah, Chase Master. The guy seemed to love chasing down targets. I remember watching those matches. He was just so cool under pressure, like he had ice in his veins. But is it just mental toughness, or is there more to it? How come he was so good at chases?
Well, there's definitely a mental aspect to it. The ability to stay calm and focused when the stakes are high. But there's also a tactical awareness. He understands pacing and innings, calculating risks, and building partnerships. And let's not forget his incredible fitness.
Right. I was just getting to that. The document mentions his intense dedication to fitness and discipline. It's practically become his trademark.
It's not just for show either.
Yeah.
His fitness regime directly translates to his performance on the field.
Yeah.
It allows him to run between wickets faster field with more agility and bat for longer periods without tiring. It's a key part of his success.
And then, of course, there's the 2011 World Cup. That must have been an incredible experience for him.
2011 was a defining moment, not just for Kohli, but for Indian cricket as a whole. Remember, India hadn't won the World Cup since 1983, so the pressure on the team was immense, and Kohli played a crucial role throughout the tournament.
He scored a century against Bangladesh in the opening match. That's 100 runs in a single innings. And then his innings in the semifinal against Pakistan. That was pure magic.
That semifinal performance was truly special. It wasn't just about the runs he scored, but the way he handled the pressure. He was facing Pakistan, India's arch rival in a World Cup semifinal. The atmosphere was electric, but Kohli held his nerve batted with controlled aggression and guided India to victory. That's when the world really sat up and took notice.
It's like that period from 2009 to 2011 was a turning point in his career. He went from being a talented youngster to a bona fide cricket superstar.
Exactly. He proved that he could handle the pressure of the big stage, deliver when it mattered most, and carry the weight of a nation's expectations. And that, my friend, is the making of a legend.
So we've seen how Kohli rose through the ranks and became this cricketing sensation. But his journey doesn't stop there.
You're absolutely right. This is where we see his leadership qualities really come to the forefront.
In 2013, he was appointed vice captain of the Indian team. And then when MS Dhoni, who was captain at the time, retired from ODIs and T20s in 2017, it was only natural for Kohli to take over the captaincy. It felt like passing the torch to the next generation.
It was a significant moment. Dhoni was a successful captain himself, known for his calm demeanor and strategic brilliance. Kohli brought a different energy to the team, a more aggressive, passionate approach. It was fascinating to see how he would lead.
And he didn't disappoint. Under his captaincy, India achieved some remarkable victories, including that historic Test Series win in Australia in 2018-19. I mean, winning a Test Series in Australia is a huge deal. They're known for their tough conditions and fierce competitiveness.
That series victory was a testament to Kohli's leadership. He instilled a belief in the team, encouraged them to play with aggression and confidence, and he led by example, scoring tons of runs himself.
Speaking of scoring runs, the list of Kohli's achievements is pretty mind-blowing. He became the fastest player to reach 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, and even 11,000 runs in ODIs. That's a mountain of runs. And he holds a bunch of other batting records, too.
It's not just about the quantity of runs, though. It's the consistency with which he scores them. Across all formats, Test matches, ODIs, T20s, he's a force to be reckoned with in each one. That's what sets him apart.
And then there's that nickname Chase Master. It seems like he thrives under pressure, especially when chasing down targets. Why do you think that is? Is it just his mental toughness, or is there something else at play?
Well, there's no doubt that he has an incredibly strong mind. He's able to block out the noise, stay focused on the task at hand, and make smart decisions under pressure. But it's also about his tactical acumen. He has a deep understanding of the game, knows how to pace an innings, and can calculate risks effectively. And let's not forget his physical fitness. It allows him to stay at the crease for longer periods, even in demanding conditions.
Right. His dedication to fitness is legendary. It's practically become a part of his brand. But I wonder, do you think there's ever a risk that his intensity, his aggression, could work against him?
That's an interesting point. There have been times when his passion has boiled over, leading to on-field confrontations or controversial moments. But it's also that same fire, that drive, that has propelled him to such great heights. It's a double-edged sword, I suppose.
It's like what they say, you can't have the sunshine without a little rain. But hey, let's not forget the personal side of things. In 2017, Kohli married Bollywood actress Anushka Sharma. It was a huge event, a real fairy tale wedding. And they have a daughter together, Vamika. It's nice to see that personal side to him, you know?
Absolutely. It adds a layer of depth to his story. It shows that he's not just a cricket machine, but a human being with a family, with emotions, with a life outside of the sport. And I think that resonates with people.
It's a reminder that even the biggest stars have lives and relationships that are important to them. But speaking of stars, let's talk about Kohli's impact and legacy. It goes far beyond just the records he's broken or the matches he's won.
His influence on Indian cricket is undeniable. He's changed the culture of the team, brought in a new level of professionalism, and emphasized the importance of fitness. He's inspired a generation of young cricketers to push their limits and strive for excellence.
And it's not just in India. His aggressive style of play, his passion, his never-give-up attitude, it's inspired fans around the world. He's become a global icon.
It's amazing to think how much he's achieved at a relatively young age. But as they say, time waits for no one. And even legends go through changes. In 2021, Kohli made a couple of big decisions that took everyone by surprise.
You're talking about his decision to step down as India's T20I captain after the World Cup, and then his resignation from Test captaincy after the series against South Africa. Those were big moments, right?
They were. Captaincy can be a demanding role, both physically and mentally. And after years of leading the team across all formats, perhaps Kohli felt it was time to focus on other aspects of his career and life.
It's interesting to think about how those decisions might have impacted him. On the one hand, giving up the captaincy could have relieved some pressure. allowing him to focus on his batting. But on the other hand, it could have been a tough adjustment, stepping back from a leadership role he'd held for so long. What do you think?
It's hard to say for sure. Some athletes thrive under the added responsibility of captaincy, while others perform better when they can focus solely on their individual game. Only time will tell what the long-term impact of those decisions will be on Kohli's career.
It really makes you think about the kind of pressure you know that these high-profile athletes face. It's got to be tough to balance, like, your personal life with the demands of professional sports, especially when you're someone like Kohli, who's constantly in the spotlight.
Yeah, no, totally. And Kohli, he just seems to do it. Like he's not afraid to show his emotions, to celebrate his victories, or even get fired up when things don't go his way. And then off the field, he's active on social media, sharing like glimpses of his life with his fans. Yeah, he comes across as very authentic, right? I think that's one of the things that people find so appealing about him. He doesn't try to hide who he is. He's passionate, he's outspoken, and he's not shy about expressing his opinions.
Yeah. He's not your typical cookie cutter athlete. Remember when he spoke out about mental health awareness? I mean, it was really powerful to see someone of his stature addressing that issue, especially in a country like India where there's still a lot of stigma surrounding mental health.
Right, it's a great example of how Kohli uses his platform to speak out about things he believes in. He's also been vocal about animal welfare, gender equality, and social justice issues. He's not afraid to use his voice to make a difference.
Yeah, it's inspiring to see, really. Like, he could easily just focus on cricket and enjoy his fame and fortune, but he chooses to use his influence to try and make a positive impact on the world.
It speaks to his character, doesn't it? He's
Oh.
not content with just being a great cricketer. He wants to be a good human being, someone who makes a difference beyond the sport.
Okay, so let's talk about his dedication to fitness and discipline. This document we've been looking at touches on it, and honestly, it's impressive.
Oh, his fitness regime is legendary. He's known for his rigorous training, strict diet, and his commitment to maintaining peak physical condition. And it's not just about aesthetics, it's about performance.
Right, like it obviously pays off on the field. It seems like he's always one step ahead. Whether it's running between wickets, fielding acrobatically, or batting for long stretches, without showing any signs of fatigue.
Exactly. He's raised the bar for fitness standards in cricket, and it's inspired countless young athletes to prioritize their own physical conditioning. He's shown them that dedication to fitness can be a game changer.
He's redefined what it means to be a modern-day cricketer. It's not just about talent anymore. It's about the whole package. The skill, the mental strength, the physical fitness, the commitment to excellence.
He's a role model for aspiring athletes. Demonstrating that success requires a holistic approach. And his influence extends beyond the cricket field, inspiring people from all walks of life to embrace a healthier, more disciplined lifestyle.
So we've talked about his past, his present, but what about his future? With his recent shift away from captaincy. Where does Virat Kohli go from here? What's the next chapter in his story?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? He's still relatively young in cricketing terms, and he's clearly still playing at an elite level. Will he continue to break records as a batsman? Will he explore new avenues beyond cricket, perhaps in business or philanthropy?
Maybe he'll surprise us all and make a comeback as captain. Or maybe he'll step into a mentoring role, guiding the next generation of Indian cricketers. There are so many possibilities.
One thing's for sure. Virat Kohli's journey is far from over. He's a dynamic individual, a force to be reckoned with, and I have a feeling he's got a lot more in store for us.
So we've explored his incredible rise. From a young, promising cricketer to a global icon, we've talked about his achievements, his leadership, his impact on the sport, and his personality. It's been quite a deep dive.
We've seen how his dedication to fitness and discipline has shaped not only his cricketing career, but also his life off the field. And we've discussed his willingness to speak out on issues that matter to him, using his platform to make a positive impact.
So as we wrap up this exploration of Virat Kohli, we'll leave you with this question. What will your legacy be? What impact will you make on the world? It's something to think about, isn't it?
Because just like Virat Kohli, each of us has the potential to make a difference, to leave our mark on the world. It's about finding our passion, pursuing it relentlessly, and using our talents to make a positive impact.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Virat Kohli. We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have.